What's going on, world? It's your man, Mr. Mac, here from allhiphop.com. Welcome to The Mechanism. I'm sitting here with somebody you may know. Fresh face, fresh arms, and good demeanor. Sturdy young man here. I'm talking about none other than Bishop Nehru. What's going on, bro? Him?
What's up? How you doing?
I'm blessed, cousin. So let's talk about this. Let's jump right into it. You have a budding music career. You're one of the few guys brand new representing New York City. But you're a young gun. How do you take on the entire? Well, New York doesn't have a lot of representatives right now, and New York it's not getting the proper respect. Where do you come from with that? Because there's very few of you guys.
I mean, honestly, from that perspective, I just try to keep making music for New York because people say that. But honestly, I feel like New York hip hop it hasn't disappeared. There was obviously. In the mainstream world, like as far as radio and things like that, it hasn't been promoted. As far as the underground, I guess I don't want to say boom bap, but more acoustic sound. It isn't really. That's really what New York is, and it's not really presented anymore. So I wouldn't say that New York isn't really, doesn't have too many representatives. Just that we're not seen. We're trying to be seen.
It's funny it's funny that question always. There's two sides to it. Like on one end, they say New York's been quiet, but you can't really say that if you acknowledge 50 Cent, Nicki Minaj, ASAP. Yeah. I mean, but even before the ASAP came, like we've always seemed to have a face, but for some reason we just weren't seen as being in the forefront. Did you ever think about why that may be?
I mean, maybe it could be because of the sound, the TR-808. I was saying this in a last interview, and the Roland TR-808 is a drum. It's a drum machine that pretty much is all over everything that you hear. Every song that you pretty much hear that's on the radio has these drums. So I feel like it's more that people take hearing this certain sound and mistake it for, oh, this is not New York, or this is not this area because you're using this sound. This comes from the South, or this comes from here. But if you have the background knowledge of the actual sound and the instrument that it is, then you kind of say that, oh, this is still hip hop. This is still New York doing New York.
So I feel bad for a lot of New York MCs because you guys catch a wicked catch-22. Like on one end they say, of course we're known for boom bap and we kind of made that popular during the 90s or whatever. But they'll come at you and say, well, that sound is played out. You know what I mean? That's old. That's back then. It's played out.
Yeah.
But then if you use something else, they'll say you're trying to sound like you're from someplace else.
Exactly. Yeah.
How do you get around that yourself?
I honestly, I produce, so I could kind of twist it. I could kind of do different things. I could kind of take different things from different places. You know what I mean? I could take a 808 and blend it well with a boom bap beat. You know what I'm saying? I could make the boom bap beat hit and be mellow. You know what I mean? It's just I kind of have my own production style that I've developed in learning how to get around all of the criticisms. As I feel like as long as you have a sample and a certain type of as long as it's a sample, lyricism, and what I'm saying, and it's real, then I feel like it has a hip hop stamp, period. You know what I mean? So you shouldn't. I feel like there isn't really any switching places and saying that you sound like you're from the South because you use a TR-808 drum kit. You know what I mean? And you're in New York. You know what I mean? LL Cool J shit used to bump. You know what I mean? Bang, 808 heavy. And that's New York all day. You know what I mean? So if you kind of know the history of it and you know where it comes from, you kind of talk against it. But a lot of people don't really do that. They don't really care about the old stuff of hip hop. I just happen to know about it so I can use it now in this present day.
I was 2 seconds from saying 18 years old. What you know about LL Cool J? You in here talking about James Todd Smith? Fool.
Nah, a lot of the stuff I got put on through like just old movies and cousins and just being around family members like my grandma, my cousins. Put me onto a lot of music.
I won't ask you to describe how it happened with Nas because I'm sure a million people do that. But what's the what is the relationship in the situation right now? Like, are you signed to him?
I'm signed to Mass Appeal, which is like he's a business partner with it or whatever.
Nice.
And he's executive producing the next project I put out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean that's
dope. Yeah.
But then again, I mean, all right, forgive me, Nasir, but everybody, the word in the barbershop is he doesn't have the best ear for beats. So
Oh no, he's not choosing the beats or
producer-
anything. He's not choosing the
I'm
beats.
just
or anything.
asking because as
I'm-
exec producer, he kind of has
Yeah,
a
yeah,
hand
you
wherever
already
he
know.
wants to put it. I'm just
I'm definitely like with all my projects, I'm very hands on with everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's not like somebody's just gonna come in and tell me what I'm rapping on. It's my voice. You know what I
Right.
mean? You can't tell me to talk.
right,
You know what I
right.
mean? So it's just I kind of Nas hasn't even come at me like that at all to try to even do anything like that. He came in listening to my stuff, just listening. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to see what I wanted to do. So
We love you, Nas. It's not. I don't want no issues. Don't have them Queenbridge dudes knocking on my door at 6 o'clock. I don't want no problems. I'm just saying, brother. Some of them tracks could have been a little. You know what? I'm just gonna leave it alone. You're fine. You got a 5 mic album. You're fine. You're fine.